All right. So after several, I'm gonna remove the spotlight. After hopefully what is the last of a set of technical uh, issues we are dealing with, I'm very pleased to be starting a live stream for this virtual Artshare and speak out. Thank you guys all so much for waiting patiently for this live stream. If you don't know who I am Jay Julio, head of Sound Off Music for Bail. We are a musical abolitionist collective, and we are really delighted to be presenting this as a fundraiser for the Atlanta Forest Defenders. Also on this call, although you can't see her, is Sound Off director Connie Lee, an Atlanta native herself, who I'm so thrilled to partner with on spearheading this emergency live stream. We've had about 72 hours, I should say, to plan this, and it's really been a joy to get through it, and of course a joy to have so many incredibly talented musicians and artists in our midst. First on the docket is cellist Robin Park, who's got sort of limited time, so we want to move right into the music making before we talk further. Robin, thank you so much again for being here with us. He's going to talk a little bit more about what he's presenting.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to play for Sound Off for Bail and Music for Bail. And yeah, I'll be playing the Lamentations, Black Folk Song Suite by Coleridge Taylor Perkinson. The first three movements, to be exact.
Woo!
Thank you.
It is, of course, very funny to go back to the Zoom clapping post us going back to in-person concerts. But thanks again so much, Robin, for joining us and for kicking off our Artshare. So appreciate you, and everyone listening in on YouTube. Thank you for being here. We're surprised to see a decent crowd there, and please leave some nice comments for us. We'll be continuing the night with some marimba music, courtesy of Stella Perlig, who's pre-recorded some Tanya Ko for us. But before we do that, Connie, and checking in, would you mind turning on your camera and maybe just saying hello? I think there are a lot of sound off people who maybe have not had the chance to meet you yet.
Hello. I'm Connie. Just joined on like recently to work with Jay on Sound Off. Was raised in the Atlanta area and I'm currently living in Baltimore, but this whole issue is, of course, local and feels very close to me, but of course, like is an issue that has like very far reaching implications. And so really happy to be spending the evening with you all, wherever you're joining from. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more later on. Just saying hi.
Oh. So thank you again, Connie. You all might have noticed if you've perused the website recently that we've added some faces. If you look at our team section, brand new team tab at the Music for Bail website, you will see not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 beautiful faces of the organizers that have joined the top of the administrative team. I guess I've always been here, but we're super excited to have some very cute headshots from Connie, of course, Matthew Hymas, who's joining us from afar, from Manila, so 12 hours away, time zone wise, a place that's very dear to my heart, of course. We have Yaz Lancaster and Kayla Williams also, incredible composers, performers. We are also, of course, grateful to the many people who work with us and for us who are not on that website. One of those people is somebody very dear to me, Stella Perlich, who is a wonderful percussionist who, as mentioned before, has recorded the first movement of Tanya Ko. Pardon me while I get the name. Oh, Skin of the Sea, Blue Skin of the Sea. Thank you again, Stella, for sending over this recording. And I'm gonna share my screen so she can virtually take it away. I was alerted that I did not share audio, evidently. Excuse me. We're gonna do this one more time. I was alerted that I did. Thank you so much, Stella, for that. I had the joy of hearing that in person, actually, the later after it was recorded. Um, so, also want to shout out Stella for being the timpanist, or sorry, normal percussionist, on our last Sound Off show in person in February. We're really looking forward to continue to work with you, Stella. Thank you again for everything that you do. Our next performer is somebody who has also been at our last Sound Off show, but as an audience member, we're excited for the possibility of future collaborations. You might have seen them in one of New York City subways if you live here in New York. We're delighted to have some Baroque music by the Baroque Barbie lined up for you. Wow, that was really beautiful. Oh my god. um, so also want to shout out, as I mentioned in the chat, for anybody who is unable to see the chat, that the Baroque Barbie is an incredible busker. I probably mentioned that earlier, but we met actually while they were busking in one of my local train stations. Um, and if you Google the Baroque Barbie, first of all, you'll see a lot of incredible press, and you'll also see them interviewed in discussions of uh, current policing of New York City buskers. Busking, of course, is a totally legal activity, a protected form of free speech, and has been ruled several times, specifically in New York City, as a legal practice. Despite this, I personally, since the age of 16, have experienced policing while busking and attempting to share music in many of New York City's public transit stations. And I just want to shout them out for their continued work in both bringing great music to everybody in a democratic way, and also for fighting the good fight to ensure that this incredible practice can continue. Next up, we have some more Baroque music, not Giuseppe Maria del Bosco, but Johann Sebastian Bach. So we're moving over to Germany. I want to thank Rosa Ortega Ainali for providing this recording from what I believe is a venue at Lynn University. While the Baroque Barbie, Stella, and Robin are all from around the New York metropolitan area, in terms of current location, Rosa is joining us virtually from Florida. Just want to shout out our love from the South, specifically as we think about the challenges faced in Florida at this very moment. So thank you so much, Rosa, for sending over this Bach recording, which I'm pulling up right now. Oh, let's make sure it's loaded first. Thank you for your patience. Ooh, that sound. Thank you so much again, Rosa. If you're watching this live or after the fact, so appreciate having you. And having you as a previous collaborator, actually, I believe in our second show. Uh, Certainly our first show with Justice Committee, organization in New York that came out of what is essentially the Puerto Rican equivalent of the Black Panthers. In that show that benefited the Justice Committee, Rosa was a very integral participant along with their mother, who's a fabulous cellist in Puerto Rico. Before we play some more music for y'all, we have, of course, our very own Connie Lee. As mentioned before, she's from Atlanta, and I just want to give you the floor to speak as you like. And Connie, I've got these photos, spoiler alert, downloaded. So whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Okay, yeah, you can share that at any point. Like you can start whenever, Jay. So yeah, hi everyone. Oh my gosh, all our performers, thank you for sharing your amazing gifts with us. And there's a lot of different ways that y'all can, keep up, because there's of course like a very egregious lack of coverage by mainstream media of this issue. There are a number of like Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts that are providing really valuable information, and really courageous folks who are there in person recording footage while they're being tear gassed by police, while they're being held in chokeholds and being arrested for domestic terrorism, for being legal observers at community events which are taking place in the People's Park in Atlanta, which is still legally public land. So I just wanted to speak just as someone who is from the Atlanta area. I'm just speaking from my experience, and we will drop those links and like username handles and whatnot in the YouTube chat. But so I grew up in the metro Atlanta area, so like the northwestern part, called Marietta. But because of the various communities that my parents were part of, like church and whatnot, we got to like go all over. So I have memories like running into like the nearby forest like after church to hide from my parents because I didn't want to go home, or I didn't want to go to Chinese school. And as I grew up, like my parents and I would go on walks like on the trails. I also spent time with friends there, playing music together, walking with my crushes as a young person. So yeah, like all of that is, so personal, like that history. But of course, with, growing up and learning more about like the history of the land and the various like groups of people before me, who have like stewarded that land, who have kept it and cherished it. That, obviously like our personal histories like very much become intertwined with like, the larger histories at hand. And so I just wanted to encourage everyone to either just get a little bit more plugged in if you are not already with this issue, and just to go into the forest wherever you are, because this issue, like I said before, like has international reach. Like this 85-acre land, like mock city called Cop City. It's like the Georgia cops attend this conference every year called the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange. And they went to Israel to learn how to, manage like public unrest and these kinds of movements. So there's like this direct tie to, Palestine and the struggle there. And so this really is not just isolated to Atlanta, right? It's like everywhere. And it has all these ties, to abolition, the climate crisis, racism, gentrification, land back, So yeah, I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time. I really appreciate y'all giving your attention and being here tonight. I guess I'll just mention a couple of the organizations. So this one pictured now was part of this bike tour that I got to take around Atlanta to various urban farm organizations. The organization's called Red, Bike, and Green. They have like community rides, and they're just drawing attention to the tie between the infrastructure and the ability for folks to have like reliable and good access to food. And so that of course is also tied because, you know, it's connected by the forest, and there are people who are like organizing to yeah, just like have sovereignty and like steward the land so that everyone can have what they need. And this photo is from this event called the Dandelion Festival that was organized by this queer Latinx garden farm collective called Mariposas Rebeldes. And this was just an evening to just celebrate community and celebrate their work. And that was like there was like drag performances and stations for like herbal care. And so, you know, the community just really wants to take care of itself. I mean, Pop City has a 70% rate of people who are against it. So yeah, I don't know. So these are just some photos that I've taken throughout my time spent in the forest. And yeah, thank you so much for letting me speak a little bit to this. And I hope that we can continue like dialoguing with one another. And again, we'll be providing more resources in the chat. So yeah, Jay, where are you? We can return to the music.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you so much, Connie, for sharing from your heart and from your beautiful photos. This is still an Artshare. We have mostly musicians on this, and I have to be frank, I was expecting to read something, and then I found out that I couldn't. It wasn't in me. But of course in New York, which is where me and you met actually, one thing immediately comes to mind, which is again the intersections that we have both across states and internationally. You may know that NYPD has relationships with both the Israeli police and the police force in Manila. And particularly as, of course, the Philippines is now on dictator number 2 in a row, it's personally it's difficult to watch. I was also relearning how to share photos properly. Sorry, Connie, we were stuck on one for a while. I am so happy to share these beautiful photos. Connie, if that's okay with you, if you wanna, we could even post them on the Instagram or something, because they're really beautiful.
Oh, sure.
I think it's really meaningful for people to understand that, when you say there's a forest that grows here, it doesn't mean that's empty land, or unused land. There's not really such a thing as unused land, especially in this country, which truly was, it did not belong to Indigenous people. It really was taken care of by Indigenous people. And it's our responsibility, of course, to continue to be caretakers, and hopefully soon we rematriate the land. We'll now move on to somebody, the performer who is an Atlanta native, who is somebody that I'm calling a new acquaintance, hopefully a new friend. We are so delighted to be able to introduce the wonderful Robin. Let me ensure that I've got, hello. Sorry, I need to let this ad play in silence. But the wonderful Robin Faye Massey, a violist who moved to Atlanta from, I believe, Delaware before, a position as the assistant principal violist of the Delaware Symphony. Robin and I met again probably less than 48 hours ago through a mutual friend, a violinist in New York, and we're just so delighted to have her talents, at our disposal. Somebody who's right there on the ground at this very moment in Atlanta, somebody who knows the terrain that she's talking about. Please enjoy this arrangement of Motherless Child that she's sent over for us. feel quite right to cut off that applause. I hope you guys are applauding at home. Wow, Robin, thank you so much for sharing that with us. You know, we're delighted to have somebody like you willing to share. We talked personally before this live stream, sort of about approaches to music, and I have such respect for somebody who also sees music as a calling for us to see the truth and to see justice. We're gonna follow that up, I believe, with a return to some more Bach, this time from Ezra Escobar, who sent over, according to the prelude to the third cello suite. Ezra was on our first Sound Off show this year, the People's Forum. We're delighted to have him back again. He is somebody who's also, though we met in New York, currently far away. Maybe not at this moment, but Ezra's holding down the fort now in Chicago, and we're very grateful, as always, to have you in community with us. One moment while I pull it up. Oh, thank you, Ezra, for sharing that. Always get a tall glass of water. Do love me some Bach, and really beautiful video quality. I think maybe some of our friends in the audience have perhaps recorded there. I think that might be Skillman Studios in New York. I learned Kanye and I are doing tech work behind the scenes as well as hosting, or rather, I realized through her letting me know that we have not been doing visual description. So just want to call ourselves in as an organization that's firmly against all isms. Ableism among one of them, is y'all can probably tell from our COVID-19 policies. We want to make sure that we're making accommodations for listeners and viewers who are visually impaired or blind. So anybody who cannot see the images on the screen, please take a look at the comments below, and we will have them updated with visual descriptions shortly. Next up is our dear friend in New Haven, currently Joseph Aaron Price, a fabulous guitarist who sent over 3 recordings of songs by Marjorie Kennedy Fraser. I am going to play them in the order that they were sent. And I want to make sure that we have all of these recordings. So, one moment. Sorry, just a moment while we look for the third one that we are expecting. You don't know. Oh, excellent. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for the delay. Oh, just one quick thing to celebrate while I'm working on the YouTube. We got a submission during the show. Thank you, Lauren Molina, Lomo, dear friend of ours personally, who has sent over recording her singing and possibly playing the cello or another instrument. So we'll take a look at that and what that entails at the end of the show. Thank you all so much for hanging in there and being here with us in community. I hope you've been enjoying the show so far, and if you have been, please tell a friend. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Joe, for those. Wow, really beautiful arrangements. And anybody in New Haven, please stay tuned for. I don't want to spill any beans right now, but we have possible sound off activities in your area. Also, want to thank Joe so much for giving up some time. Congrats for making semifinals of, I believe, the Concert Artists Guild competition. We're delighted to have quite a few of those in our midst. And next up, we have Dominic. Sorry, Dominic Grande, who's playing. I believe, is that vibes or marimba? Do you want to just talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Oh, sound maybe is a little bit funny.
A little funny? Oh no. Oh no.
Is the routing? We'll give you a moment.
Should I? Hold on. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, wait, do you want to play a little bit? We'll
Yeah.
just sound check briefly for everyone. That sounded great. The highs are sounding good. Maybe the lows a little bit under mic'd. I don't know if you can do anything about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll toss some things over. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there with us. This is gonna be a treat. I'm very excited.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds a lot better.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm just playing like a little improvisation. I've got vibes, some toys, a drum. We'll see.
Yay.
That's it.
I was totally ready to be like, oh, yes, the noises are part of it too. Wow, that was so cool. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you again. I don't know what other concert presenting organization is going to have y'all listen to Vibe Improv's Bode Vibe Improv while also supporting abolitionist causes. I want to thank everyone again who performed and shared. To first of all, not first of all, but rather importantly for us, and I'm just gonna highlight myself. Oop, there we go. I want us to all remember why we're here very briefly. If I can shout out all of the Atlanta Forest Defenders organizations that are linked and pinned in the live chat that y'all are looking at. We have one last performer, Lauren Molina, a dear friend of mine, mentioned before, has sent over a video while we were in the process of getting this production together. So we are going to play that video, which I have not seen. So this is as much a surprise for you as it is for me. Thank y'all so much for being here. And we're gonna see it. Yay, all right.
Hi, my name is Lauren Molina. I want to thank Sound Off, Solidarity, Artshare, and Speak Out, who are in support of the Atlanta Forest Defenders. I am so proud of you guys. I am here in New York City. I'm a singer, performer, actor, musician, and I just wanted to share a little song that I feel is about taking care of each other, no matter what's going on. And I am so happy that you're on the ground to stop Cop City, and I'm grateful for all of your work. You have my heart, we'll never be worlds apart. Even in magazines, you'll still be my star. Baby, 'cause in the dark, you can't see shiny cars. And that's when you need me there. With you, I'll always share. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath, I must stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. Under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. Under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. Under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh, 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 eh. These fancy things will never come in between. You're part of my entity, here for infinity. When the war has took its part, when the world has dealt its cards, if the hand is hard, together we'll mend the heart. 'Cause when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath, I must stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. 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 You can run into my arms. It's okay, don't be alarmed. Come into me. There's no distance in between our love. So come and let the rain pour. I'll be all you need and more. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath, I'm under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, 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 I have a family that lives in Atlanta and in Marietta, Georgia. So this is a problem that is deeply personal to me. And I thank you again.
Oh, wow, that was really incredible. So sweet. Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you so much, all the performers. Thank you, Rihanna, for that song. Connie, thank you so much for organizing this with me. Thank you, everyone at Sound Off. Y'all are amazing. Everyone who's worked behind the scenes on this. Thank you again to all the Atlanta Forest Defenders. Connie, you want to do your shout outs?
Thanks, Jay, for just having this idea. I was just posting, like reposting stuff on Instagram. Jay was like, we should do something. And I'm so glad that this is what came out of it. Thanks everyone for submitting your videos and performing live on such short notice. Just really warms my heart to like be here with everyone. And I hope that we'll continue. We're gonna keep doing this work. So yeah, that's all.
Lots of love. Lots of love to everybody. Hey, everybody who's watching this, keep reposting what you see. It's just important that we keep the pressure on. I'm sure everyone has seen the Guild of like human rights lawyers, et cetera, National Guild of Lawyers, I believe, has sent out tons of statements condemning the atrocities that are happening down in Atlanta. So many people on the ground, faith leaders, whatnot. Let's follow their example and do what we can, what is possible within our power, and let's make sure that we keep working together so that we always increase our collective power together. Thank y'all so much again. We'll see you in New York in April. In May, we'll see you in Philly, also in May. We'll see you online in July, and everything's gonna be live streamed. We want to make sure that people can access it regardless of pandemic or physical barriers, spatial barriers. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night.